specialty soaps. I am up for round 2 today on the soap making game, and today I'm going to do the Forbidden Love soap. It's been a really long time since I've done this one. Normally I use a dupe or sort of an imitation fragrance of Love Spell by Victoria's Secret, and I have used that one today, but I also mixed it with a couple of other things that I think sort of adds a bit more of a depth to it, and honestly a bit more of a deeper fruit smell. I think that Love Spell is sort of an airy fruit smell, sort of light and stuff, and this adds a little more deepness to it, a little more of a heart, if you will. So I'm really happy with the fragrance blend here. I'm going to be using 4 different colors. I'm going to be using white, orange, red, and pink. And because Love Spell decelerates trace, hopefully I will do some sort of a tiger stripe and then do a hanger swirl through that. So like if you do a hanger swirl, you start with a tiger stripe and then you do the hanger. So hopefully I will be able to accomplish that this day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Righto, so here is my oils right here. Oh, get out of my way, stick blender. Alright, and here is my water, so I'm going to add this. I have mixed this just enough for it to become emulsified. I'm going to set this down on the floor. Okay, now we're going to pour it into equal portions into these buckets, or bowls, you know, if you're from America, like me. I noticed that the people in Britain tend to call what we call bowls over here buckets, which I think is delightful. And as I like to use British words as often as possible, I guess I sort of picked that up. Okay, now that everything is pretty much level, I mean it's not completely even here, I'm going to add some of the colors. So here's the pink that I've mixed up separate. I always have to mix this pink up separate. It doesn't do so well whenever you just put it straight in its powdered form into there. I'm also going to be testing out Nurture's Really Red Mica today. I'm really interested to see if this works. So I'm putting a teaspoon of the Really Red Mica in here. Okay. I'm going to be using also, let's see, some of these Cosmetic Orange Neon Pigment. About, I'd say half a teaspoon there. And about 1/4 of a teaspoon of the Orange Vibrance Mica, and then of course the white titanium dioxide. So let's mix these up. This is going to be fun. I love these colors. Then we'll add the fragrance oil. So white goes first, obviously. Okay, I'll scrape the sides of the bowl there in a minute. We'll do orange next. Some crazy orange there. How delightful. Okay, now for the pink. Gorgeous pink color. Now let's see how the red does. Look at that. Very impressive. So now that I have the fragrance oil in, I'm going to mix it up with my spatula here first, and then I'll give it a quick whiz with the stick blender. Mixing it up with a spatula or a whisk instead of mixing things up with a stick blender really helps delay speeding up of trace. That's why I like to do it. So yeah, I'm just going to mix these up real quick and then we'll begin pouring. Okie dokie, now we can start pouring. So the first thing I'm going to do is pour the red right down the middle here. Whoopsie. That was probably a little more than I wanted down the middle. Oh well. Okay, so there's red. Now we're going to do white, which of course is thickening up too fast. That's what you get for using titanium dioxide. Pink is going next. Just like this. Now obviously if you're wanting a really clean tiger stripe, I would use a recipe that doesn't thicken up as fast as this one does. This recipe thickens up faster, I would use probably a Bastille recipe. And then the orange. Okay, now I am going to swirl this soap, and I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to leave it a surprise, and we'll see how it turns out tomorrow. So let me wait until my piping is nice and thick, and then we'll start piping the top. Alrighty, so as you can see, I've already put one row of piping on the soap. I have also stuck some little red glycerin soap cubes in there, just to, you know, spice things up because I wanted to. And for this particular piping, it is a lot thinner than I usually do it, and that's because I'm trying to achieve sort of a marshmallowy look. I'm going to be putting a mica drizzle on here, and I just sort of wanted it to look that way. I don't know why. I just thought that it would look good with the fragrance combination. You can see it's sort of pulling from one little piping spot to another. Oh man, the fragrance is like filling up the air. It smells so good. Yeah, it definitely looks sort of spongy here, which is kind of fun, honestly. It's kind of fun to pipe like that. So I don't know if y'all noticed, but the really red mica didn't remain red, and that is actually not the mica's fault. And it's not because the mica doesn't work. It is simply because the recipe that I'm using makes a really white bar. And y'all have heard me talk about it before. Whenever you put together a soap recipe that has like a very white-ish look, it's really hard to get bold, vivid colors. If you have more of a greeny or a yellowy tone to your soap bar, that is easier to create really concentrated pigmented colors. If you have a white bar, then again, it sort of mutes it a little bit. As an example, if you're not quite understanding what I'm saying there, I mean that if you left the bar completely uncolored, like just no fragrance, no colors, just made it, that it would make sort of a white bar of soap. That's what I mean by having a white soap. Unlike other recipes that tend to have more of a greenish tint, for example, when you have a lot of olive oil in soap, or a yellowish tint, if you have like a lot of sunflower oil or a rice bran or something, those tend to make a little bit more of a yellow looking soap, and they hold the color pigmentation a lot better. Every time I do soaps with this tip, which is in the Royalty Soaps piping set, by the way, one of this tip is, this whole thing I'm using to pipe is actually in the piping set. It reminds me of Hershey Kisses. Okay, so I have piped all of the soaps here. Now I'm just putting the final little dollop on each of the bars. I didn't film all that because I was constantly refilling the piping bag, and for whatever reason I started this big coughing fit, and I never really got anything intelligible out in conversation. So now that I've piped the whole top, I'm going to take a little bit of the Snowflake Sparkle Mica from Nurture and just sort of shake this on top of the soap here. I'm not going to be using glitter today. Instead, I'm just going to use this mica. Woo! It's snowing in here! I don't know if y'all can see, all the particles are going absolutely everywhere. Oh my goodness. But for some reason it makes me so happy. So now I'm going to put the little cherry lips on top. Aren't they cute? This is one of my favorite parts of this soap, is the little lips on top. Alright, now that all the lippies are on, I'm going to take some of this orange neon colorant that I have mixed with some of the Snowflake Sparkle Mica, and sort of drip it down the sides here. Now I'm going to take some of the really red mica, do the same with that, and now I'm going to do the same with the pink colorant. And this is like hot pink, fiery fuchsia color. It's crazy. And when all is said and done, this is what the final Forbidden Love looks like. Look at all the shiny that's everywhere. It's absolutely bonkers. So yes, this is what it looks like, and I will be back tomorrow to cut it for you guys. And we are back the next day to cut the Forbidden Love soap. Look at that hot pink on there. Man, that's crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna line this up here. Gotta go slow on this because it's so tall. Okay, let's see what it looks like on the inside. Remember, I did a swirl in here. Woo! Groovy. You can see the little melt and pour embeds. I didn't really do a specific swirl, I just sort of swirled it around. That's why I was saying it's a secret, because I didn't really do anything purposefully, I just swirled it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and maybe even leave me a comment below. This was super fun to make, and it should be available in the Etsy shop on October 15th. And so until next time, bye for now.